This little guy has become one of, if not my absolute favorite knife in my EDC collection. And today, I want to tell you guys why. Plus, I got a special unboxing if you stay to the end, so be sure not to miss that. Today, I got for you guys today is the Tactile Knife Company Rockwall Thumb Stud E-Knives exclusive with a hex pattern titanium scale in, as you can see, Magna Cut blade steel, which we'll get into in a little bit. And I'm super excited to have this in, guys. I got this on day one. I could not resist. That hex pattern titanium scale just really drew me in. I wanted something classy. I wanted something lightweight, but still durable enough for EDC, something I can feel comfortable carrying every day. And for me, this checked the boxes, guys. But I had a couple complaints that we want to talk about, and we'll get to those as well. But, let's get into this review, guys. Just a little wristwatch check. I am wearing my Uncle Seiko Jubilee bracelet on my King Turtle mod. And as you can see, it is Saturday, November 26th, and it's actually my birthday today. I went and got a free coffee at one of my favorite drive-in breweries or whatever you call it, coffee shops, and got a free coffee, didn't pay a dime, gave him a tip. So I'm off to a good start to my day. I'm watching college football game day, ready to see my dogs play. And I got a package notification that I got something in the mail. So was not expecting to have this so close around the holidays. So I'm excited to get that in. And, we'll open that up at the end of the video. But let's get into what you guys are really here for. And that is the Tactile Knife Company Rockwall Thumb Stud. This is a liner lock. And as you can see, that thing is perfectly centered. Beautiful milled titanium deep carry pocket clip, which to me is one of my absolute favorite features there. If you're watching this, you probably know about the Rockwall, but I believe it's like a 2.85-inch blade in Magna Cut. So it's good for those who live in states where you can't carry anything over 3 inches. To me, I like around a 3-inch blade length. Anything from like a 2.5 to 3.5 is pretty good for me for EDC. I like to keep it closer to 3 if I can, just because these guys over here, which we'll get to, is pretty much what I'm carrying every day. So this is it up against the Spyderco Para 3, which gets a lot of pocket time for me. As you can see, the Spyderco Para 3 has a big hump there to make room for the thumb hole that we all love to flick around. But that kind of makes for an awkward carry profile, and it's not saying it's uncomfortable to carry, because as you can see, it is a small knife, but it does kind of poke into the side of my jeans, or when I'm sitting down in my office all day, I'd kind of rather just take this out and set it on a hank like that on my desk rather than keep it in my pocket. Whereas this one kind of just disappears in the pocket. And a lot of people say that, talk about disappearing in the pocket, but this really does the trick. Another knife that gets a lot of pocket time for me is my custom French-made bug out. So I actually customized this in the custom shop. Little rose engraving there. S90V blade steel. This is around a 3-inch blade. And as you can see, it does have a little bit in length. Not so much in width. Let's see, the Rockwall I think is a little thicker. Whatever. Rockwall is a tiny bit thicker, but overall in length and height, the bug out is going to be taller and longer. So this has a much smaller carry profile, which some people might not necessarily like, but I definitely adore. This to me is small enough to where I can carry this every day, feel comfortable with it in jeans, in trousers, in dress pants, in sweatpants. I can carry in all those and I feel comfortable with it. And I still got enough to where I can get all 4 fingers on the grip. I still got a little bit sticking out. I can choke up on that jimping right there. And it just feels good in hand, man. Like when I first got it in and I felt how lightweight it was and how small it was, I was like, man, this might be maybe a tad too small. But really, once I got it in hand and started cutting with it, started carrying it, I really, really like these dimensions. The ratios are there. It feels good. Like I said, in the pocket, it really, really just disappears. So if we want to use the hank to kind of mimic a pocket, I mean, that's what we're working with here. So you're not seeing anything that's pretty inconspicuous. That could be, you know, a pretty bulky pen. That could be a flashlight. That could be whatever, man. And realistically, no one really cares what's in your pockets. You think that people care what's in your pockets, but nobody's paying attention. Nobody's going to ask you what that is, except for another knife guy, maybe. I did put a new edge on this. It did not come from the factory as sharp as I would have liked it. I'm not a blade steel snob. I'm not no expert sharpener or anything like that. I just have a work sharp precision adjust, just one of the handheld guided rod systems. So I'm still a beginner when it comes to sharpening, but I thought I got a pretty nice edge on that for only having ever sharpened a handful of knives. And it being Magna Cut, which I've never worked with. But, you know, it didn't come from the factory completely razor sharp. So that was a tad disappointing. But, you know, it was definitely suitable for what I use a knife for. I didn't get a knife, especially a knife like this, for anything hard use. I'm not like out in a garden, like digging up weeds. I'm not out in the field prying stuff. I'm at an office. I work in an office job. I'm maybe cutting up some envelopes, cutting up some packages. Like, that's it. I use my knives to cut threads off my clothing, stuff like that. Like, I'm really more of an enthusiast when it comes to the machining than I am about, oh, I need this to be able to split wood if I needed to. Like, no, I'm not using my pocket knives, my EDC pocket knives for stuff like that. I would get a dedicated fixed blade or some sort of hunting, outdoor survival knife or something like that. These are meant to be in my pocket if I just so happen to need a knife. If someone's opening a package around me, I like to be a handy guy, you know. I like to have things when people need them. I carry a flashlight on me if someone's looking for something or is looking in a dark area of something and needs a little light. You know, I carry a lighter around just in case, you know, someone wants to light something. Knives, if you know, need to cut a thread off your clothing or open a package or something like that, you know. I'm not really doing crazy hard use stuff, but I really would have liked it to come a little bit sharper from the factory. So I did kind of clean that up, make it a little bit smoother, finish off that edge there. And one other thing I will say is that it was a little loose from the factory on, I believe, the pivot, because when I pushed pressure like this to go ahead and deploy the blade, what I noticed was when I put pressure, the blade kind of moved a little bit. And it was centered, but like it had a little bit of play. And like right now I've got it solid in there, as you can see. Excuse my messy nails. As you can see, I'm putting pressure on it and it's staying pretty well centered there. But what I had to do is I had to remove the pivot and I put a little bit of Loctite on it to kind of lock it into place where I wanted it, so that I can, you know, pretty aggressively flick that thing open. Not like that, like, oh, more so like that, but we'll see. Get it with my finger. Shit. There we go. I do this all the time off camera, but you know, you get on camera and all of a sudden you can't do it. There we go. I'll be flicking this thing with my ring finger, index, and this action is so smooth, man. Like I said, it didn't come tight from the factory like I probably would have wanted it, but man, you barely got to put any pressure at all on this thumb stud. Like, see, I'm like trying to miss, and it still flicks out pretty easy. It's insane. Like, this is one of those things. It's like I'm a Manta owner. If you're into watches, you'll see I'm into watches. We'll talk about my watches and my watch collection. But if you're into like Manta and really high finished watches like the Formex and the Mantas at that affordable price range, I feel like that's kind of what this guy represents. This is just extremely well finished. The tolerances on this thing are extremely just tight. You know, aside from the pivot that I probably would have liked to see come a little bit tighter, you know, sharpening on the blade and then me having to tighten the pivot for $300, I probably would have liked to not to have to do those things. But, you know, having done those things, not having any modifications to the knife whatsoever, I didn't put it on any sort of special bearings or anything like that. Like, this thing is just freaking smooth, and it's a very nice EDC knife. It is lightweight. It's beautiful. It's durable. Like now, like you see, there is no play up, down, side, side at all. This thing damn near drop shut if I want it to. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this thing is nuts. Yeah. I'm one of the guys, I like to fidget with my knives, and this isn't exactly the most fidget-friendly knife. You see I'm kind of struggling a little bit, getting it at least down in a timely fashion in terms of fidgetability with something like this where you can flick out and drop shut pretty quick just with the compression lock on the back. Pretty fidgetable knife, also with the Benchmade bug out. Can more easily get that out and get it shut pretty quick. There's this, you do got to put your thumb right there where the blade goes, so getting it out of the way and dropping it with my finger is kind of what I've been doing to get it out as quick as possible and then put it back in my pocket as quick as possible. It's something I look for in a knife. You know, I'm not into OTFs or automatics yet, but I do want something I can pull out, get it out, do my cut, put it away, get it in my pocket, done. Go about my day. I don't want to pull out some 6-inch OTF, have it fly out like crazy, which is funny because sometimes when I flick open knives like this, people think that they're automatics. People think that something like this is an automatic. I'll flick it out and they're like, oh man, where's the button on that thing? And I'm like, oh no, it's a liner lock. It just closes like that. So yeah, man, I've been carrying this for about a month. Like I said, it's November 26th. These came out sometime in October. And man, if you can see the texturing on that hex pattern is actually like, you can catch your nail in it. Like it's pretty deep if you look into that. So the design of this thing is absolutely beautiful. One complaint that people had was that little nub right there that makes room for the thumb hole or the thumb stud. You see it falls right there where the thumb stud is, and it looks great when it's closed, and some people have a problem with it. That little nudge looking thing cut out right there. I don't notice it, man. I mean, I'm grabbing the knife like this. I'm looking at it like this. You can't really tell that it's there until I put it, you know, behind the white. You can kind of see it. That doesn't bug me, but I do have a nitpick when it comes to something here. I'm not sure what this is, and I looked at pictures. It's definitely supposed to be like this, and I'm not. Maybe I'm completely missing something and I don't understand, but why does this side of the pivot, it comes off flat? It's not like a full circle. It just flattens out. And it's not because that hex thing right there flattens out, because if you look on this side, it's perfectly round. And then on this side, it's like it flattens out. And I'm not sure what that is. That's something small that, you know, only someone like me would notice and nitpick and even bring up. But, you know, I'm not sure what that is. If you know what the reason for that is, drop it down in the comments. I guess I forgot to say at the beginning, you know, I did not get this from Tactile. I bought this from eKnives when it came out. I did not, you know, get any sort of discount or special pricing. No one asked me to do this review. No one told me what to say. I'm sponsored by absolutely no one. But if someone wants to sponsor me, hit me up. Slide in my DMs at MarcusEDC on Instagram and let's talk. All right, let's get into the special unboxing that I had. So, you know, I'm sitting here talking about Tactile Knife Company. And if you know who Tactile Knife Company is, you know that these guys started as a, I guess they started, but Tactile Pen Company, Tactile Turn, is who ended up making Tactile Knife Company to make these awesome, well-finished, highly executed knives. So I have the knife. I thought, man, I really need to get one of their pens. So I went ahead and picked up a slim bolt action pen in titanium. And I believe I got the, what did I get? Yeah, the short, so the 5.1 inch. Let's go ahead and bust this thing out. Oh man, the texture on that thing. Can't really see it from there, but oh, there we go. You can see that kind of ribbed texture on that. And this is their new updated deep carry pocket clip. So their previous pocket clip, which kind of kept me from buying the thing, had 2 screws and it was not necessarily deep carry. I think it maybe have been more intended for the office, but I know a lot of people carry these things. But as you can see from my knives, I like the deep carry pocket clips. I don't like a whole lot of knives sticking up. Spyderco with your lanyard hole and all this knife sticking up past your clip. Shout out to Lynch Northwest for making these deep carry clips for the Spyderco. I also did not get sent that. They barely know I exist. But no, let's get into this, man. This is beautiful. Man, the clip on that, I need to get that in pocket, man. That thing is nice. Let's see how it carries. Kind of just mimicking the pants here. Gonna go ahead and, oh, that's a little tight. Oh man. Oh, this isn't gonna tear up my jeans. Okay, so it's deeper. You definitely, got something in there. You definitely know that's a pen sticking out of your pocket or some sort of other device. But I mean, that came out pretty easy. I guess it went in harder. It'll probably slide in easier on a pair of jeans, but I mean, it comes up pretty easy. But yeah, man, these bolt action pens, that action feels nice, man. I got a couple Big Idea design bolt action pens, which I like because they have a deep carry pocket clip that goes all the way to the top. And yeah, but this is extremely well finished. The texturing on that is beautiful. Yeah, it feels great. I mean, I like the length of it. I did go with the short because, I mean, at 5.1 inches, I feel like that's pretty damn well a full-size pen. So I don't know why I'd need anything longer than this, especially if I'm going to carry it. But man, that bolt, I definitely like. I'm going to like fidgeting with this in the office for sure. It's not like it makes a super loud noise either. Tolerances on this are very tight as well. I'm not sure exactly how many refills it takes, but I know it takes a crap ton of refills. So go ahead and check these guys out, man. This is Tactile Turn. This is the Tactile Turn slim bolt action pen, short 5.1 inch. Man, that thing feels good. Needed something. I wanted to start carrying pens, got into the Big Idea design. I got a mini bolt action pen from Big Idea Design, and it was just too small for me. I gave it to my girlfriend. She uses it for work. She loves it. And I wanted something a little bit bigger. And since I've had the Tactile Rockwall and I've been carrying that around for a little bit, I decided to go ahead and get the pen so we can have a full-on Tactile company. Let's get in a little closer there. We got a full Tactile knife company, Tactile Turn company, EDC there. And that's a good site right there, man. I like that. And shout out to Mighty Hanks in Arizona, man. She makes the best Hanks, small-owned business, family-run business. She makes the absolute best microfiber cloths for, your phone, watch, knives, anything you need to wipe off. I gave these to my girlfriend when she's crying during movies and stuff like that. Man, definitely comes in handy. But yeah, we got a full Tactile Turn carry there. How does that look? Awesome. Well, thanks for coming along with me, guys. And we're going to get into this Georgia Bulldogs game because they are about to kick off. So you guys have a blessed day and peace.